Hey, what's up? It's Tiffany. Before we get started on this week's episode, please be sure to send us your requests at booshakalakapodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter X, BooShakalakapod. You can also find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Instagram at BooShakalakapodcast. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Booshakalaka Podcast. I'm your host, Tiffany, and I'm joined by my co-host, Pierre.
Look, I don't care about if you didn't think that my coming out was a big deal, Martin. Look, you don't get to decide that. I'm supposed to be the one who decides when and where and how and who knows and how I get to say it. That's supposed to be my thing. And you took that away from me. So you know what? Just get the fuck away from me.
Love Simon. Woo! I was right.
Yes. I think that's like the first one you fucking got. Like.
By the way, fuck Simon. I hate his character.
Okay. I can't believe you got that. It's like we've been playing that Mario game where you got to get the star and you got to click in the thing.
Speaking of Mario, we are back with Bodies that came out in 2022.
I was like, how does this relate to
Bodies, like.
Oh. Okay.
Gotcha. The synopsis is: when a group of 20-somethings get stuck at a remote mansion during a hurricane, a party game gone very, very wrong ends with a dead body on the ground and fake friends at every turn as they try to find the killer among them. Or it should have been, this is the prime example of what not to do when you find a dead body.
It should have been no fake friends. Cause like, I'm sorry, you put me with any of my friends in this situation, it's not happening. Like the series of events is not gonna happen. But okay.
I agree. Yeah, but I mean, when you're so rich that all you can do to take away the pain is take pills or do drugs, I mean, Who can you trust?
Well, we can't trust this movie. So we start this movie off with the lesbians making out.
So we have like the longest kiss scene. I was like, that's enough. And B, it's like, oh, I gotta pee. And she's like, her girlfriend's like, oh, well, you gotta pee. Ha, let me just grab you by the conch. Like, what are you doing?
So
he's so weird.
So they're in a 6-week relationship. And Sophie, look, I knew a name. Sophie drops the L bomb on B. And, you know, she's like, you don't have to say it back, but you know, it's how I feel. So they make their way, seems like a long way, they're making their way to this mansion party because they're having a hurricane mansion party because that's what rich people can do.
Clearly.
I mean, maybe if you are
that house with all those trees around, clearly they did not go through Hurricane Katrina like we did.
Right, because I'm just like, but
ain't no fucking way. I'm gone. First thing smoking.
But if you're rich, I guess having a hurricane party. I mean, if you're gonna have a hurricane party, why wouldn't it not be at a mansion?
Well, if they were rich, I feel like they would have had generators too. We were not rich, and we had a generator.
So you just completely destroyed the movie, like because even we had generators. Like, come on now, like people. So,
but you know what? They so dumb they would have known how to use it.
True. So they get to the mansion, and we're introduced to the whole cast. So
we're missing a part. B. So they get to the mansion, and B feels like really intimidated about going into the mansion. So Sophie goes on without her. B comes in the car, pulls up the mirror. And, you know, checks herself out and gives herself a little pep talk. And then she leaves out of the car, and they make sure to focus on that mirror with the light was still on when she got out of the car. So now we're at the house and they're playing the game like who can hold their breath the longest, like we're fucking 10 years old. I played that when I was 10.
It was a very interesting way to introduce the characters because, you know, you're seeing them all underwater and these poses. I was like, okay, you know, trying to get your cinematography on. However, they see Sophie and they all rise up and they're like, oh my God, Sophie, your girl. Which
no, they not.
She doesn't look
only one of them.
She doesn't
only
look like
Alice.
Sophie.
No, she doesn't. You know what she looks like? She looks like a
hot as hell. Hot as fucking hell. Like she has like a face like you, like that bone structure where it just goes like, God, just striking. So
well, I was trying to think of a name. I would see her as like an Aaron or something like that.
Yeah, like it has to be like an Aaron. I was about to say Viper. I need to.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna assume, you know, she probably had she's probably mixed. So Sophie.
Okay. So they jump up, they pop up, you know, they greet her. We're introduced to, come on with the names, because David,
Alice,
Alice,
David,
David,
Emma,
Emma,
Greg,
Jordan,
and Greg.
and Greg. And it's just like, hey girl, like, how you doing? And she's like, this is B, and she and Jordan. I'm trying to get these personalities off. I'm so tired of them trying to make Pete Wentz, not Pete Wentz.
Fall Out Boy. Cause tonight will
Pete.
be the night that I will fall for you
Over again. So, what's his name? Pete Douglas?
Oh shit, Davidson.
I'm so tired of them trying to make him like the hot guy in movies.
They're trying to make him fetch.
Yeah, and it's just like
hey, women like him.
Okay, so yeah, we introduced, and he's like it's his house basically, and he's dating Emma. So Jordan's dating no one. She's just kind of like the bitchy lesbian of the group. Alice is dating Greg, who's a vet. That'll matter later.
Who is like 40 years old.
Right. And Dallas, I feel like I know so many girls like Alice, and I don't like any of them. But I want to say she's like the people pleaser of the group. I don't know.
Yeah, she's an agreeer. Every time they get into talks, one person says, I don't like this. The other one says, well, I do. She's like, well, yeah, I don't like it either. And the other one's like, well, I don't like it either. She's like, well, I like this. Like, she's just back and forth constantly. I was so glad when she died.
So there's a key point here where Greg takes I forgot what kind of sword it's called, a Giga sword, a Jira sword,
a Hattori
Hanzo sword, Megazord. So so B brings a bottle of champagne. He takes it off using the sword, and he pops the bottle and spills out, all. And so David's character is an asshole like that. He's just like a typical rich asshole who doesn't like anybody being cooler than him in the room, and he's just like all mad about it. He's just being a jerk about it. So they pour their glasses and they're all just like toasting and drinking and things like that. And then just the hurricane comes out of nowhere. And so what we do need to know is there is one friend who's not there. And I'm mentioning this because David has a black eye. So Max, the friend who's not there, apparently gave him the black eye and just like left. I don't know where he went in a hurricane.
He needed to cool off.
He needs to cool off in the hurricane. But it starts raining and they're just
right.
my fear. They're outside just getting wet. They have on robes, just soaking wet in the rain. But I'm gonna assume they go back in the house and take showers. I'm gonna assume that.
So well, they were already in swim clothes, so yeah. So when they go in, they do put clothes on. Most of them were in bathing suits.
Right. So they took showers and they went inside. And
they probably didn't.
They're just drinking, doing coke. It's also needed to be stated that Sophie is a recovering addict, so she just came from rehab. That's why everyone's so surprised to see her, and they're kind of shocked. Well, Jordan's shocked because she's like, "What the fuck you doing here? We didn't invite you." And she's like, "I told you I was coming in the group text." She's like, "No, you didn't." That's gonna matter later too. It's just.
Right.
This is such a weird movie because I swear it's like 5 minutes of plot, but the dialogue is like super long. It's like
it is like I was trying to no, it wasn't as long as Quentin. So we got like people talking to each other, just constantly. Everybody is interacting. You have Sophie, who David calls in the room to speak to have a little chat about like why she brought a stranger to the house, why she brought B there. Nobody fucking knows B, and basically, are you okay? I think David really was her friend and was really looking out for her because. I think that her being in some type of relationships triggers her to want to do drugs. Like she's probably better off alone till she's healed and everything. That's what I think. And Jordan sees B in the hallway and she's like real creepy, getting all close up to her. He's like, yeah, Sophie's rich. Looking her up and down like, I know you ain't. And, and she tells her to be careful with Sophie. So clearly, Jordan is jealous of Sophie. So Jordan definitely had something going on with Sophie a while ago.
Yeah, it is. But again, these are not real friends. Like, it's so obvious.
Oh, no.
So, they're like, all right, party going. There's no real significance outside of, their interactions and them having fun. And they decide
dancing?
I was going to skip past that. So they decide to play.
The 2 1 2. The 2 1 2. I don't know the words.
They decide to play Bodies, a game I've never heard of, but a game Tiffany would probably love because it reminds her of fucking Clue. There, I brought up Clue so she doesn't have to. So
I have never completed a full game of Clue, but I've watched the movie at least 100 times.
I know you love it. Shout out to Clue. So, and shout out to the remake they're inevitably gonna make. So
they can die.
They get into the living room and apparently Bodies. They're playing 2 different games. They're playing one game where they take a shot and they slap each other, and then bodies is like they write on a piece of paper, they write an X, and whoever has the X is the killer, and they have to keep it a secret. And then so somebody's gonna die, and they have to figure out who killed them. So it's basically like Clue without the fun, because I mean, what's the point if you?
But
have
is it like hide and seek?
Yeah,
like if I find you, you're dead.
Yeah, but I get So it's like tag, hide and seek, Clue, but without the fun. Because Clue's fun because you did it in the basement with the candlestick. But so they go off and they go run and hide, and so it gets all creepy and weird, and they try to, I don't know, it's just weird. So they all come back and they find Greg's dead body in the living room, and they're like, oh, Greg was the one who died, you guys. And so in the midst of trying to figure out who killed him, they, I guess they're supposed to ask questions to each other. They don't really go into the rules, but
yeah, I have
Alice gets freaked out because she's like, okay, Greg, you died, but now you can wake up. And like, she pushes his body over. His body's very limp. They're like, she's freaking out. She's like, Greg, wake up, wake up. She thinks he's really dead. And so David's like, I know how to fix this. So he grabs a beer bottle and like puts it in between his balls, and like, Greg's alive. And it's like, okay, fake scare out, red herring, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, Greg's alive, and they're just trying to figure out how, who's the killer, what's going on. And they just start accusing each other, which starts the first argument of the night. And again, fake friends. Like, what are we doing here? Like,
yeah, it's like when the group says, we think the killer is Jordan. Alice is like, yeah, it is Jordan. Group's like, you know what? It might be Greg. And they're like, oh, yeah, it is Greg. Like, what are you doing, ma'am?
Yeah. And
oh, gosh, she was so annoying.
So David accuses Emma, his girlfriend, of being the killer. And she's like, no, I'm not. And, of course, Alice does the thing Tiffany's talking about. She's like, yeah, it is you, Emma. He's like, yeah, because she's an actress. And your voice gets really high when you lie. She's like, no, it's not
that was
me,
Jordan. Jordan's the one that gets the high voice when they lie.
Oh, is it? I thought it was on. So,
there's too many damn characters, first off.
Right. They're just going back and forth. And, like, again, they're arguing. And Emma and David get into this argument after Greg leaves. And it's just basically incel induced. He's just like, narcissism isn't real, and gaslighting isn't real.
He tells her, oh, great, you can read a Twitter feed. So, like, basically, she has no thoughts of her own. Everything she gets and all her key points are from social media.
Right.
But honestly, all of them, everybody in there is from social media, except for Greg.
Right. So, he's just being a complete asshole, and she starts crying. He's like, she's an actress. She's an actress. She's making it up. Like, so she walks off, and then power goes out, and then everyone kind of disperses. I don't know if they're still playing the game or if they're just kind of like trying to regroup. I don't really understand.
No, they're trying to find a backup generator. They're trying to find a light, but I don't think they were successful in even looking. Like, I don't think they looked for real, because nobody went in the basement. I didn't see anybody in the garage, and I know they got an 18-car garage.
Right. And they basically all just say, David, you're an asshole. So he just goes off on his own. So while they're looking, why are they in the kitchen? Because they're just like, well, no, they're not in the kitchen. Maybe that's the living room, or like I don't know. There's a window there. That's all I know. So study. They're just all looking around, talking, like, they're very suspicious of B for kind of no reason. It's kind of weird. Like, she literally asked for the Wi-Fi, and like, I don't know, it was just creepy for no reason. Like, just give her the fucking Wi-Fi. She needs to talk to her mom. Whatever. So in the midst of that, of course, it's raining at this point. It's like, coming down really hard, and bam, they see
let the rain fall down. I'm coming clean. So the friends are in a different room than B, and then now you can then B hears a slam on the a thud on the window.
Yes, and it's David, and his like neck is bleeding. So they all run out, and they're like, "Oh my god, David!" So they all come out, and they just like they're holding him, and like, put his head up, keep his head up. They're not putting pressure on a goddamn thing, but they're just like, oh my god, what happened? What happened? And his neck is just squirting blood. He's just he's passed out at this point. And they're like, oh my god. So they go back in the house. They don't take him in the house. Literally, they don't take him in the house. I
don't know why.
They don't take him in the house.
Because his body could have literally flown away.
Right.
Depending on how bad the hurricane was.
But they don't take him in the house. They don't get first aid kit. They don't put anything on the wound, like nothing. They all
They
just
don't
go.
drape a tarp over him.
No, they just go and they're like, oh my God. So they go to their car and they're going to Sophie and B's car because apparently none of them drove. They all drove with Max and Max took the car.
Yet again, if his parents are out of town, I know they have more than one car that they own. There's no way. I just hate that they didn't go in the garage and just to even look. Just let me know you looked.
Right.
Because I just don't believe it.
So this carries back to the beginning when B was fixing her face in the mirror. So because she left the mirror light on, as we know with cars, the battery ran out. Ran out really quickly for me, but okay. So the battery died.
Well, I mean, it was a pretty old car, so maybe it was on its way.
So yeah, they can't start
Oh my God,
the car.
I'll never forget. I went to go pick up a friend at the airport. And I went into the cell phone lot, turned my car off, so I'm just sitting there, just scrolling on my phone, blah, 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 blah. She texts, she's like, I'm ready. I said, oh, okay, I'm coming up to the gate. My fucking battery went dead in the cell phone lot.
Wow.
Luckily, there was like some construction guy or something in that area, and he had to jump. He was able to jump me. I was like, damn, we had to go straight to AutoZone. Get in the zone.
So they're like all freaked out. They're like, oh God. So, but I'm wondering, were they getting the car? Cause it's like, they didn't take him to the car. So it's like, what were y'all about to do? Go get the police? Like what world, like what were y'all trying to do? I just couldn't figure it out. So
I don't know. Cause where are you going to drive in this weather? You wouldn't be able to see anything. Honestly, what they should have fucking done was got in the car and just stayed there. Or went in the house and holed up in one room and not come out. Fuck the investigating, bitch. Just stay in there.
Oh my God, I love So they're like, okay, they're freaked out, and B's like, sorry, it was my fault. So they run back in the house, and they're just all freaking out. They're just like, oh my God, what happened? Who killed David? Was it Max? They just, they are the most untrustworthy friends in the world, and so that's when they, they have to tell the story. Like, Max was being mean. I'm sorry, David was being mean to Emma. Max likes Emma, so he punched David, and then he left. So yeah,
Max said he was in love with Emma. Basically, like, Emma, why are you taking this shit? You could be with me, somebody who actually will care for you and support you, than this loser, David.
I hate you so much. So immediately, everyone's like,
who?
Her. So yeah, David's a fucking loser. But anyway, there's a bigger loser in the house is Greg. So everyone's like, wait a minute. Well, so if Max is not here and Max didn't kill him, then it had to be Greg because we don't know him. And like, how well do you know him, Alice? And she's just like, he's a vet. What are you talking about? So like,
said, how long have you been with him? Long, like 2 weeks.
Yeah. So they go into where Alice and Greg are staying in their room, and they go through Greg's things, and they find like a map of the neighborhood, and they find the house circled. It's basically a go bag. He has a knife in there, and just interesting things. So they immediately jump to 10 conclusions, and they're like, "Oh, Greg killed him." So they go looking for
suspicious.
Yeah, and so Greg said he was going to go lay down, but he's not laying down. So they go and they find him. What is that? The gym? So they find him in the gym.
Yeah, it looked like a gym.
Yeah, just like laying down, meditating. I don't know.
Before they went in there, while they were searching for Greg, before they get to the gym where Greg is, while they were going through his stuff, Emma finds a yellow bra, and Jordan's like, he's not hiding in my bra. And she snatches the bra away. It's very important for later. Yeah, so they find Greg in the gym.
And he's like meditating, sleeping. I don't know what he's doing, but he's just chilling. So they go in there and they're like, they have the knife on it. Like Jordan has the knife on him with her fucking flashlight on. Like she's going in the fucking mines.
This is mistake number 2 that they made. His body is devoid of blood. There was no blood they could have went and looked in the bathroom. There was no blood. There's no blood in the entire house. How could he get away with killing somebody, slashing their neck, and not get a drop of blood on them? But this is how stupid they are. They're not.
I haven't even thought about how high they are, actually. So
yeah, that too.
So they confront him. Jordan has a knife on. I mean, not the knife on. She has a knife on him. And he's just like, he's thinking it's still part of the game. And then he sees his knife and he's like, what the fuck? And they're like, why do you have a go bag? And he's like trying to explain himself. But then he's like, what the fuck's going on here? Like, y'all got a knife. Y'all coming at me. So then he like grabs the knife from Jordan, like very, because he's a vet.
I don't know why they couldn't have said, look, we are not playing anymore. Instead of like that's all they were doing was hollering.
So he's just, he has the knife on him. He's like, what the fuck's going on? Like, he's starting to freak out and get like, I don't know. He was very scared to have the weapon, and they're all a bunch of like what 20-year-old girls. He was just very
each all about 100 pounds each.
Right. He was very like he got super paranoid very fast. That's the only criticism I'm going to give him, because he has a right to be. Yeah, he has a right to be.
A lot.
It is. So he has a right to be like on edge, but he was just like chill out, like just stop pointing.
But
I don't know.
Honestly, he should have walked out of the room.
Yeah.
Or he should have said, "Oh, David's dead. Show me his body." But no.
So it gets very tense, and he has a knife, and he's just pointing at the girls. He's like, "What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck?" So B grabs a weight that's in there, and Greg's dead as a doornail. She smashes him in the head. He's done for. Like,
she
and now
easily bust him in his elbow.
Right.
That had the knife. I mean, he would have been down. Their arm would not be working.
Oh, no, the kneecap would have hurt. Oh, that would hurt. Like
in the shoulder, anywhere.
So yeah, he's dead.
Oh, it would have been. It would have been the back of the knee. So I don't know how hard it would. I don't know how bad it would have been in the back of the knee.
So they now they all have blood on them. So now they have the blood that Tiffany wants, and they're covered in blood. And B's just like, "I did it to protect you," and she's just like, Sophie. They're just like, I mean, Alice is the only one really shocked and like sad, and Sophie's just like, "Go change your shirt." Like, girl, what? This part pisses me off because B goes and takes a whole bath. Like, she's not washing off like I need to wash off. She literally dips her hand in like some water and like tries to get it off her face. Like, bitch, you acting like act like Carrie and take a fucking bath. Like, put that soap on you and get that blood up off you.
Put the water up to 350 degrees.
Like, come on now. She was pissing me off because, like, yes, the power's out, but girl, the water still works. Yeah, and y'all got candles all over it. You could
and at this point, there would still be hot water in there too, because they hadn't taken any showers. They could get one good shower out of that.
So just run the water real quick and get that blood off you. Like, I hate that she was blood soaked this entire time. But
well, you know what? I don't even think she was gonna wash herself. She only went to wash herself because she threw up on herself.
Oh yeah, I forgot that she did. Nasty ass bitch. So yeah, she, I guess that triggered her because she killed someone. So and they're just all like, I don't know. It's like they're okay. Their moods are very fucking weird. But Sophie decides to go rummaging for drugs because she's a fucking crackhead whore. So she goes and runs and finds some drugs. It's not in Monopoly, it's in something else. It's in one of the little game boards, but she knows basically where David hides his drugs. And she finds some pills and she pops one, and then she goes like walking, and then she runs into Emma. And Emma's just like, you okay? She's like, she's like, yeah, I'm sorry about David, blah, 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 and like because they argued with each other earlier about how Emma is a fucking victim and all those kinds of things, they're like apologizing to each other. So Emma then kisses Sophie, and she's like, bitch, what the fuck you doing? And she's like, I thought that's what you wanted. And she's like, yeah, that's what I want. You think everybody in love with you? Get the fuck out my face. Here, take these drugs, ho. So
she also blames Max. She thinks that Max could actually be the killer. Like, he snuck in and killed David for some reason.
Yeah.
But who knows? But it was funny because after she kisses Sophie, Sophie's like, this is not what I wanted. And then she's like, here, you want some drugs?
Like, all the ingredients to make a high nigga pie.
Like, and homegirl had just taken a Xanax earlier. They had been drinking like crazy. I would be dead. I would be dead.
I don't know how they do all those drugs like that. Like, I always, maybe it's because I just read in the news too much overdosing. It just seems like what are y'all doing? Like, how do you know your limits when you're on that much shit? Like,
you don't.
Like, that's
why they mentioned that Sophie OD'd 3 times before she had to go to rehab.
So I know it can.
What is this, Euphoria? This is a Euphoria house party. Rue, where you at, girl? Rue. Is this fucking play about us?
You're a fucking cunt, bitch. So
I hate that show. It's never coming back, y'all. It's never coming back.
Like, just let it go. So I don't even know what happens at this point. Well, I know that Jordan's doing her thing.
They go looking for B because when B went to change, nobody saw her leave. So they're like, where the fuck is B? So now suspicions are arising from B. Right. And so they're everybody's searching around looking for B, and then Emma goes to the staircase and she finds I'm sorry, Alice goes to the staircase.
and
She
she
finds
falls.
Emma dead.
Yeah, she like falls on her dead body. And when I tell you this motherfucker has a gash in her foot, I was like, God damn. It looked like somebody had hit her with the sword too, because it was a huge gash. And so
it was huge. Jordan had a logical thought. She was like, well, maybe she tripped and fell down the stairs. And Al's like, no, somebody pushed her. But she didn't even see anybody push her. But somebody pushed her. Like, they're just to the extreme.
Yeah, it's just like, that's some Karen shit. But yeah, so they're all freaked out. They're all like, oh my God. There's like, now it's like there's a serial killer because now 3 people are dead. And what the fuck? So.
Is it a serial killer or multiple?
You mean multiple murderer?
Everybody's a suspect. So after this part, Jordan and Alice both say, well, it's got to be B. B did it. And Jordan reveals that Alex did not go to the college that she said she went to, and she did not graduate from there.
Who is Alex?
I don't know. From the last movie? So Jordan reveals that B did not go to the school that she said she went to, and she did not graduate. So they were like, B gotta go. And Sophie's like, why did you lie to me? Why did you lie to me? So, it was like 2 against 1. Alice and Jordan against Sophie, and so they kicked B the fuck out the house. They booted her out.
Literally push her out of the house into the hurricane. Like, I don't want her in here. I don't want her. You killed Greg. I don't want her in it. Like, they push her out into the hurricane.
Katrina. Here comes the hurricane, bitch.
It's just like, this was very like, I was like if there was a point to bring you into the movie, this was it. Because I'm like, I know y'all did not push this girl into a hurricane. And like, she's trying to find a way in, and they all locking the doors and shit. Like, bitch, get the fuck out. I don't want you in here. At this point, I'm breaking up with Sophie.
Yep.
At this point, I'm just going to go. So she goes and she runs and she gets in the car. But, she eats some Cheetos and, she freaking out and shit. Like, but it's like, why, I didn't understand why she wouldn't stay in the car. Now, that part I'm lost at.
I think she was going to, till she was rummaging around the car and she found the yellow drawers that matched the yellow bra that Jordan said was hers. So I think that kind of pissed her off, because she probably feels like, oh, Jordan has something to do with this, so she's trying to sabotage me, and maybe Jordan is the killer. So I think she actually went in to help Sophie.
Okay, so she goes back,
but she finds the drawers. Hold on, y'all. She finds the drawers and she sniffs. No. Well, I guess she was just trying to see if it smelled like Sophie. I guess.
I hate you. Which, how would she know? Because the whole movie, Sophie been fucking on her. Like, damn. Like, they were just acting some
yeah, she was trying to take her down.
Right. And so she sneaks back in through the damn doggy door. And when she goes in, she gets a hammer. Well, I'm sorry. In the midst of looking for a way in, she looks through the window and she sees that Jordan has a gun. Like, she sees that Jordan has a gun. And then she sneaks through the doggy door, and therefore she grabs a weapon. She grabs the hammer. And then she goes into the living room, and they're like, how the fuck did you get in here? Like, a very, very realist. We're like, how the fuck did you get in here? And she's just like, she has a gun. And she's like, what? And they're like, Jordan has a gun. Like, Jordan, she's basically accusing, like, I don't know why she's accusing Jordan. Like, it was very weird because, like, nobody died with a gunshot wound. So it's like, but she's like, Jordan has a gun. She's like, empty your pockets. And so Jordan empties her pockets and there is no gun. But she's just still like, why the fuck are you in here? Like, what the fuck's going on?
Right.
So, I don't even, it's just chaos. Like, this movie was such fucking chaos. They just get into another argument.
Well, B tells a sob story about how she has to take care of her. She did go to Utah State for 1 semester, but she had to leave because her mom has borderline. Borderline.
I was like, is that even an actual diagnosis? Like, borderline personality, borderline disorder, schizophrenia? Yeah. Like, so, she's
basically been telling half truths, and she wanted to not embarrass herself around Jordan, because we find out Jordan is filthy rich. Like, her parents are filthy rich, and I guess she was just embarrassed. Yeah, Sophie's parents are filthy rich, and I guess Sophie was just, B was just embarrassed that she lost her job, she didn't go to school, so she kind of felt like a loser. That's all I'm going to think about. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. And then Jordan is like, nah, bitch, you lying. I don't give a fuck what you say. You lying. You ain't got no mama. And then Alice starts agreeing with her. And then Alice is like, you know what, Sophie? You know what, Sophie? We hate you because of your drug addiction. And you only came here to use David to get access to your trust fund. Because I guess David was supposed to convince
her parents, her dad,
Sophie's
like,
dad to let her get back in her trust fund because she's all
healed.
toe up and coked out. Yeah. So Jordan says the same thing. She's like, who was there helping you when we da 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 da? You know, you OD'd. We were in the back of a fucking ambulance with you while you're almost about to die. That's why we pushed you to go to rehab.
Yeah. And Sophie flips it back on him and she's just like, y'all trigger me because all y'all do is do drugs in front of me when you know I'm a recovering addict, which again, fake friends. Like, what the fuck? Like, the idea that they were having a drug party when you know your friend just came from rehab is hilarious to me. And then she's like, and also, you didn't text in the group chat. Like, it just kept coming back up about this damn group chat text. Like, you didn't let us know you were coming.
I wanted to read the group chat. I wish they would have played the group chat at the end of the movie in the credits.
But Alice does confirm, like, no, you didn't say anything. And then Sophie's like, well, y'all know I'm not good with text. Like, it just was very bad.
I hate people that say shit like that. I'm not good with text. Bitch, fuck you.
Like,
yeah, so one more other thing.
It was a lot of things said in this argument, baby.
Yeah. So basically,
are you gonna
they tell
Alice
has
a podcast.
Jordan only listens to her podcast, and she's like, a podcast takes a lot of work. You have to schedule the guests. You got to get a Google Calendar. You got to gain followers. And
it's hard, y'all. It's a lot of shit, y'all. It's a lot of shit, y'all. It's so hard. It's so
you know how much research I did to figure out how to get this shit to post up on Apple Podcasts and Spotify?
Baby, do you know how hard it is to post on Instagram? It's like, okay, so yeah, look, the tag.
I'm tired thinking about it.
Like the TikTok.
But Jordan also points out that she fucked Sophie a couple nights before this trip.
Mm-hmm.
And
she begged her to come and fuck her.
Sophie begged her. And, you know, Sophie's like, that's not true. I think it was true.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because you check your text. Check her text.
Yeah. She kept telling her to check her text, but nobody.
The most unrealistic thing about this was that she didn't delete her text, but before this movie was over. So yeah, so Jordan actually, in the midst of this argument, Jordan actually goes and gets the gun from behind the pillow. So she did have the gun. I'm told these fucking liars, bro. Like, if friendship is not this hard. Friendship is not this hard.
So Alice is telling Jordan, you are nothing but upper middle class. You ain't got no money.
No, I'm not. Your parents work at a university. It's public. Bitch.
Like nobody will fucking date you.
No, rich people probably really talk like this though, Tiffany. Like rich people probably
I don't know any.
Like they probably really are like, I'm not, because I know a lot of people. I've known people who are rich and they hate being called rich. And they're like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, we're not. No, we're not. Like, I'm like,
cut it out. So while Alice is belittling Jordan shoots that bitch in the fucking leg. She said,
like, I don't know.
But then she's like, did you just shoot me? And Jordan's like, no. While she still has the gun like that.
Triggered. I'm triggered. No, this shit was like textbook, like gaslighting. Like, no, I didn't. No, I didn't. Look what you guys made me do. You made me do it. I'm like, really? Like,
but she still got the gun in her head.
Literally. And she's just like, no, I didn't do it. And so Alice just freaks out and she tries to go get the gun from Jordan. And it's like,
why would you dogpile somebody with a gun?
And they're like, she's waving it around. Like, it's just a dangerous situation. Like, this is why people shouldn't have guns. Mind you, where did Jordan get the gun? We have to circle back real quick. Because they kept saying that David's parents didn't have guns. Like, they were rich, but they were, like, super rich to where they didn't agree with gun, like, laws and stuff like that. But, of course, Jordan's like, of course they're rich. They have guns. So, yeah. So, you know, they're waving it around. And then, like, Jordan and Alex fall on the ground. And then, of course, Sophie goes. And they're just all, like, wrestling for the gun. You never put your hand on the fucking trigger unless you plan to use it. But apparently she planned on, and bam, Alice is dead. So
shot in the throat because we were fucking tired of hearing her voice.
Like, and we do not miss her at all. Like, I'm so tired of that.
I got enough out of Sasha with that. Shit. All that damn hollering.
Oh my God, I hate you so much. So yeah, Alice is dead. We don't care. We don't like no flip-flopping ass bitches. So at this point, now it's like, and so Sophie's trying to calm Jordan down again. She's like, Jordan, just chill out. And Jordan has lost it at this point. I don't know what, like, and apparently Soulless is like, I mean, like soulless. Jordan is soulless. She's emotionless. I don't know. Like I said, she was the bitchy one of the group, but she's just giving like
sociopath.
Yeah, like it just gets super creepy. Like, why are you now just trying to shoot everybody? So she goes for B, and well, actually B goes for running, and she goes for B, and so they're like, again struggling on the stairs and like going back and forth, and she's choking her, and so they're right next to the fucking banister. So what does Sophie come do? Tackles her ass like she's I can't even think about it. Who tackled anybody in a movie? So so she goes and tackles her off the banner.
Big Mama's house. Remember when Big Mama tackled him at the... Not in Big Mama's house.
So she pushes her off the banister, and she falls to the floor, and like she crashes on the table. Muscle memory, God. So she falls and crashes on everything, and she's done for. I'm guessing the fall plus what she landed on is what's killing her, and her last words are "check her text," and then she just starts shooting at their asses up there, and then she dies. So they go run off in the room, and they're just like, that's pretty crazy. And so B's like, let me see your text, bitch. And Jordan's like, and Sophie like, what? Huh? I can't hear. I'm sorry. Wait. Like they do these fucking fake ass lesbian apologies, and oh, I love you now, and then they just start untrusting each other again. And so she's like, you ain't getting my pocket. She's like, give me your phone. Let me see your phone. She's like, you ain't getting my motherfucking phone, bitch. Again, it's very, very, the plot hole is that she didn't, because most people would have just deleted the text. Like,
right. Because they were separated a couple of times.
So
too.
they like spread, they're like, so Jordan.
Why didn't Jordan just show her text? Bodies.
We could have written this movie. So they go run off from each other because now they both think each other is the killer, and they go run off, and they basically hide out until the morning time. And during the morning time,
Sophie could have deleted this text then.
That's what I'm saying. The text should have been deleted. So B goes rummaging through the house. She gets the gun from Jordan's dead body and everything, and she runs outside. It stopped raining, and she's just outside. And Sophie pops out, and she's just like, "I'm so sorry. Let's kiss and make up. We're lesbians. This is what we do." So yeah, they're hugging each other.
No, she didn't.
And she's like,
I relapsed.
Yeah, she's like, I relapsed, and I have to tell you something as well. So last night I gave Emma the pills, and she was already doped up on some shit, and she slipped and fell, and I saw it, but I didn't want anybody to think it was my fault. So yeah, so she just confesses almost everything. Baby, be like, oh, okay, click. Back your motherfucking ass up, nigger. Show me a motherfucking text. I was like, what a switch. She's like, show me your
like, what is more important? Your girlfriend cheating or your girlfriend possibly trying to kill you? I guess it's in this day and age, it's motherfucking text messages, bitch.
Baby. So she got the gun on her. She's like, show me a text. Sophie like, no, I don't give a damn if you do kill me. I'm rich, bitch. So
I'm rich, bitch.
Then they start struggling. I don't understand how they struggle. I like, when somebody got a gun on you and you doing all that, you crazy as hell. So they start struggling. Phones drop. Now this weirded me out because I'm like, Tiffany, if we get a splash on our iPhones, them bitches like, wait, you gotta dry out. The fact that
they've gotten better.
Their phones are all in mud, in the grass, in this water-soaked grass. They fall in the pool. I don't understand what this. I guess I don't know the music. They try to make it some beautiful moment. They fall in the pool. They get out the pool, and somehow phones are still working. That is crazy. And the fact that the phone in particular that they go and they find is still working after it was a fucking hurricane. Bullshit. That is bullshit. So they find a phone, but Sophie's like, that's not my phone. So she looks over and she sees David's dead body still there. And of course, they do the thing, you have to open the eyes to get the phone unlocked. The phone is working perfectly. Despite the phone being found on the grass after a hurricane, the phone is working perfectly. There is no cover on this phone that is waterproof. You got me fucked up, bitch. You got me fucked up.
It should have been in a what's that case called?
I don't know. OtterBox?
No, the real OtterBox.
That's what I fucking.
Oh, I thought you said Waterbox.
I said OtterBox. So they go and they see his TikTok, and they're just watching David's TikTok, and he has the sword, and he's trying to open another bottle of wine with the sword. Now, initially he's doing it the way you're supposed to do it, away from him, but then he switches it to this direction, and so he's pushing the knife towards him, and he ends up cutting his neck. And they're like,
they have the realization that they did all of this.
They did all of this for nothing. Greg is dead for nothing. I mean, Emma would have probably died anyway if she had been giving them drugs. Jordan, everybody's dead for nothing.
Alice.
So here come Max, come through the gate. He's talking about what the fuck's going on, and all of a sudden, I guess the power and the Wi-Fi comes back on, and you just hear a bunch of text messages coming through, and the water from the pool starts spraying up, and that's when we get our famous line.
I got service.
And then the movie ends.
So what do we think happened next? How do they get out of this predicament? That's what I want to talk about.
Okay, so this is good. So the only thing that they would have really gotten away with was David's death, because they actually have the
Emma.
TikTok.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
you're
they
right.
actually have the TikTok showing that, so that's the only one they get away with scot-free, because they have video footage. And
all they have to do is blame it all on Jordan. Because her hand is on the gun. I mean, her fingerprints are on the gun. And she did shoot two people. And they can say, they go take that kettlebell, they wrap it up in a towel, and they put Jordan's hands all over it, wipe B's hands off, put Jordan's hands all over it, take it back upstairs, and blame it all on the black girl with the 4C hair.
Well, that worked.
I think that's the only way they could have gotten away with it.
Yeah, because like I said, David's the only one, but they would have asked about Emma. Even if you say, oh, she fell and I mean, because they didn't move her body, perhaps. But Greg, blunt force trauma to the head. Alice, shot twice in the leg and in the throat. Jordan, you can just say that was self-defense. We pushed off the
they finally got her. They finally got her, and they were able to kill her.
But yeah, y'all gonna have to, because
it's the only person they can blame.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it. The only reason
it would definitely go in line with time of death too.
It would. The only thing that I'm going to push back on slightly is because if Max is not in agreement, Max has to be okay with this plan, because the gun is with them currently, so they can't. And we have
they
to
just say they took it from her.
Okay, all right, because that's the only way. Because I'd be
but I mean, where is the gun? The mud is probably covering it at this point.
True. It's probably in the pool. I don't know. They was doing a lot of struggling.
Yeah, that's the only way I think that they can go home after this.
Yeah.
And then she better have a lot of money, because David's parents.
Hello, like wrongful death,
sue the bricks off of them. Oh, but yeah, David did kill himself. You're right. Yeah.
So they can
just say David killed himself and Jordan snapped. Even though she's about 98 pounds soaking wet.
I'm just.
She is a little petite thing.
So, what's your rating?
6.5 out of 10. I give
really?
6.5 out of 10. I enjoyed it for the most part, especially the realization of how dumb they are at the end when they realize that, oh shit, we did this for nothing. But they did make a lot of stupid choices, but they also made some good ones as well. Yeah, the moral of the story is don't do drugs, kids. And try to perform on TikTok with weapons.
I'll give it a 5. I just really would have liked it would have been like, we keep watching these LGBTQ movies and there's no real horror, and I want a real horror. Yeah, this was I want a killer to be after them. Like, I just want it to be like, real. So I'll give it a 5. I do like that. Like, I do like the realization, like, this was all for nothing. Like, I think that's a cute little, like, what the fuck? Because, I mean, if you have a bunch of fake ass friends in one place and some shit goes down, some shit can really happen like this. Maybe
Yeah.
not to like the extreme where people start shooting each other, but like somebody can end up dead. Mexico.
Very much so. Very much so.
Yeah. So yeah. So it was cute.
Or make sure your friends are your true friends.
Yeah, it was just like some fake shit. Like because if they were real friends, again, none of this would have happened. Like they would have played the game. Power would have went out. They would have went to sleep. They would have woke up. Power would have been out. Like, come on now. It shouldn't have taken all this. Like,
or they would have just went and took all the drugs and fell asleep.
Right. And moral of the story is also, so the moral of the story is don't do drugs. Know that your fake friends are your fake friends and don't be friends with them bitches. And motherfucking also just play Monopoly. Just play Monopoly. Because these bodies and slapping each other when y'all take shots, don't put your fucking hands on me. Like, it's just like, no, like all this extra shit, just play Monopoly. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
Or it's against humanity.
Anything. Like, just no. Because absolutely not.
They could have just played hide and seek. But it probably would have had the same outcome.
Hello.
Well, that will do it for Bodies. Please be sure to follow us next week when we review
Fear Street, lesbians again. They don't put homosexuals in these things.
It's called Fear Street, Part 1, 1994.
Yeah, they don't put homosexuals in these movies. It's very interesting.
Because it's homosexuals, that's all we've been seeing. It's time for the ladies first.
I did not think y'all were gonna sing. I thought you were gonna sing "Ooh, not to baby." I thought you were gonna sing that.
Well, I'm talking about women, so when I say ladies first.
I don't know that song. So yeah, we're gonna do Fear Street.
Oh God, kill yourself. That's Queen Latifah.
Oops.
You ain't black. Goodbye.
Don't call me a bitch. Yeah, I don't.
Who you calling a bitch? Is what she
there
says.
we go. Yeah. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Where did you hide it, Dan?